Welcome, everyone, to our Tuesday talk, where we talk about all things to do with designing, developing, and deploying your superb learning experience. I'm Matthew Mason, founder and chief learning architect of Superb Learning, and today's live, we're going to do what we normally do in our Tuesday talks. If you haven't tuned in before, basically what we're going to be doing, I'm just double checking quickly that we've got audio. Just double check. I can get a thumbs up if we've got audio. What we normally do in our Tuesday talks is I'm going to jump in and I'm going to just deliver some information around a topic and then going to open it up for any Q&A around anything to do with designing, developing, and deploying your learning experience, where you get to draw on my 20 plus years experience as a learning designer and content and course creator. So let's get started. Today, what are we talking about? Okay, our topic for today is nailing your niche. Okay, so this is something that we see is quite important when you're looking at building your course or courses, is to actually have something that's going to target to your niche. But it's probably pretty important to business in general as well, as having that niche. So it's a really, really interesting topic, and there's a lot of stuff out there around, putting together that perfect niche as part of this process. So, yeah, great quote that I love. And if you haven't tuned into one of my lives or one of my sessions before, you'll probably, or if you have tuned in, I should say, you'll realize I love quotes. And this is a great one. When you try to be everything to everyone, you accomplish being nothing to anyone. And this really ties back to that, that piece around, really tying into what your niche is, and really thinking about, well, what is it? What is it you're trying to sell? And if you're trying to deliver your educational content online, if you're trying to build a course and you want to give the course to everyone, you're probably not going to accomplish it very well. Okay, you really need to hone down and to really target into a much smaller market, which is obviously what we're talking about, tying into a niche. Okay, now saying that though, you don't have to stay there. Okay, this is one of those big things that you can grow and you can expand. Okay, but to get started and initially you really need to be looking at, okay, what is your niche that you're going to target at? What is that area of interest or group or subcategory? What is that small area that you want to really be targeting for, so that you can generate interest, become known in that area, and go from there. And it's also about targeting your ideal client. So part of this niche thing is not necessarily, okay, well, what's the market that I want to go into? What's the ideal market? But it's also around the ideal client that you want. So a couple of things there to think about with the niche, not just your market, but your ideal client. And who is that ideal client? What do they look like? And if you find that, you're going to find, and then there's that niche. Because this is the thing, if you get that niche right, then, and you're working with your ideal client, well, hey, happy days. Everything is great. Okay. And as I was saying before, it doesn't necessarily have to stay there. Okay. There's a company that came on the market a number of years ago, and they targeted a very specific niche. Okay. They targeted people who were living in regional remote areas that couldn't get to bookstores or libraries to get books. So they built this online company to provide books to these people. Okay. If you haven't guessed it, the company's called Amazon. Okay. Nowadays, if we look at Amazon, we don't think about Amazon as just books. It's got a whole range of online resources. It now has its own TV, version, Netflix type, challenger. And there's a lot of other things, and Amazon money coming into the market and things like that. So, but what they did And what they did really well is they picked a niche in the first place, and they got that worked out really well. Then, once they were confident in that niche, then that gave them the systems, the processes, the finances to then grow and expand. Trying to be everything to everyone, you're not going to get there. So really think about your niche. What is your target market? But ideally, what is your ideal client? So one of the big things, and it's really about this idea of being this big fish in a small pond. You get to be known. You're the person that is known for whatever your thing is in your area. You become the go-to person, and people want to talk to you about that. So it's really around thinking about that. And so obviously when you're building your courses then, and if your courses are targeted into that, then people are going to come to you as the go-to person for your courses. Okay. The other thing to think about when you're looking at your niche is to think about this concept, and this Japanese concept of ikigai, which means purpose. Okay, so there's 4 factors in that. The first one is, well, what are you good at? Okay, so when you're looking at your niche, think about, well, what is it that you're good at? And I'm sure there's lots of us out there that are good at a number of different things. So you go, great, okay, we can do, I could do this, or this. There's a couple of the things that I'm pretty good at that I could target and drop into a couple of different niches. Okay, but then also think about what is it that you love. And this is where we get this intersection of what you're good at and what you love, where your passion comes into it. And, if you can find this spot where you're working around your passion as part of your niche, then you should be pretty happy. Okay. But it's not just that. Okay. You've also got to think about, well, what is it that the world needs? Okay. Now, I met a lady a number of years ago, and she was wanting to put a course together around Reiki for dogs. So it was an interesting topic. But the issue was that there wasn't a huge amount of need for it. There weren't that many people out there that needed to do a course on how to perform Reiki for dogs. Okay. So you've got to think about it. There might be something you're good at. There might be something that you are that you love. But if the world doesn't need it, then maybe it's not necessarily a niche that you need to be going into. And then the other part then is looking at, well, what is it you can be paid for? Okay, because you might have something that that you love and you're good at. You've got this great passion product, but if people don't pay you, then is it actually going to be worthwhile? So these are 4 key things that you need to think about when you're looking at designing your course and looking at trying to nail the niche that you're putting your course towards. Thinking about, what is it that you love? What are you good at? What are people willing to pay for, or what do they need? And do they need it, and are they willing to pay for it? And if you can combine all 4 of these things together into your niche, into your course that you're delivering for your niche, then you're going to be sitting in this ideal spot, in this little sweet spot, which the Japanese termed ikigai. So have a think about those things when you're looking at putting out there and going, okay, what is my niche? What is that point where you're going to come together with all of your expertise, and we're going to pull it out, and we're going to deliver it, and we're going to deliver it to the people who are willing to pay for it, the people who need it, and doing it in such a way that you love. So 4 key things to think about. You get those, then you're really going to be nailing your niche. Okay. The other thing as well is to think about with your niche is to think about an evergreen niche. Okay. So evergreen is something that is going to be continually running, continually operating. Okay. So let me think. Okay. We can put out a course and deliver a course, and we can focus our niche on Clubhouse as an example. Okay, so we're going to really tap in, and we're going to deliver a course to teach people how to use Clubhouse. So it, could be a great niche, lots of people in there, good topic, maybe not too many people that are really providing that content there. Okay. But the issue is that it's probably not going to be evergreen. Okay. I mean, Clubhouse is only just going into a beta to be tested on Android phones. There's a lot of other social media apps that have probably come and gone, and we just don't know. With something like Clubhouse, it might be the go-to app, like Facebook has become very successful, Twitter's become very successful. It may become as successful as those, but it could also fail. So when you're looking at a niche, thinking about a niche that is evergreen, so not necessarily tying it down to a specific product or a specific application, but maybe we can do a niche could be around how do I promote myself through social media, okay? And maybe Clubhouse is your tool of choice at that time. But then if a new tool comes on board or something else, then you can look at changing your content, changing your course around that so that your niche is still evergreen. That way it will continue to be operating, okay? The other alternatives to go with a niche that's not evergreen, but what's potentially going to happen is that in 2 or 3 years' time, you're going to find that, hang on, that niche is no longer there, or that product is no longer there, and you're going back to square one again. So, yeah, it is a key part of that. Okay. So a few comments there. So it's really difficult to choose the right niche. Yes, it is. But I think if you go back to this, go back and find something that people are willing to pay for, that you're good at, that you love, and what the world needs, you go from then you sit into that. Okay. And also, again, in terms of nailing your niche, find something that's going to work, move into that and test it. And as I said, you don't have to stay there. You can expand and grow and go from that. Okay. So as part of that process as well, as part of your niche, also thinking about, can I niche down even further? Okay. So we might go, okay, I want to do a my niche might be I'm going to develop a course to teach people how to write a book. Okay. Or maybe I'm going to have a niche of teaching women how to write a book, or single women how to write a book, or single women with children. So thinking about the demographic and thinking about, well, okay, can I break it down further, and continually break it down and get down to this really small niche and target. Okay. So thinking about that process as well. So just keep breaking it down and going, okay, so, okay, we're going to go and deliver training. Okay, we're going to develop a course in the fitness industry. Okay, great. Maybe it's a bit too broad. All right, let's niche it down. Okay, so let's develop a course for people who want to get fit. Maybe it's executives that don't have time to get to the gym. Okay, again, so you can see we've niched that down into a much smaller piece. Or maybe it's to, what's another example of niche? Again, mothers who have just had babies that want to get back fitness. So there's a whole range of different subcategories within that niche that you can select and you can target, and you can pull those in as part of that niche. And as I said, if it's generally an evergreen piece, then maybe you go, okay, right, we're going to now shift it and we're going to now deliver a course. Okay, so we're looking at, for example, ourselves, we've got a course and we're helping coaches and consultants to take their knowledge and put it online. Okay. We've also got another program that we're going to be launching, which also then helps authors. Okay. So it's pretty much the same program, but it's got some tweaks to it because people have already written a book. Okay. And then we can take that program again, package it up in a different way, and we can go, okay, we're now going to go and work with fitness professionals, or we're going to go and work with this. So you can move your niche around. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you have to stick with one niche, but to start with, pick that niche and go with it. But yeah. Okay. So is it better to choose a niche which is related to your current job, or a niche you like or enjoy, something that you're passionate about? Definitely something that you're passionate about. Okay, really tap into a niche that you are passionate about. Okay, there's no point, as I'm saying, like find what you love, what the world needs, what you can be good at, what you're good at. Target your ideal client. There's no point going to something and going, okay, I'm good at this, and people are going to pay me for it, but I don't love it. I don't have the passion for it. Okay, that is not going to be the niche for you. You're going to end up being unhappy. You're probably not going to be delivering the course at the level that's needed. If you don't love the people that you're serving, that in that niche, the people that you're helping, if you don't love them, again, that's going to come across and you're not going to have the success. Okay, so you've really got to have that passion to help those people. Okay, so how do we do that? One of the big things is, okay, you can go, yeah, I want to go and I've got passion here, I've got that, but you've really got to go and do some research. You've really got to go and find out, is this the niche? Is this the right niche? Is it something that people want or need? Is it something that people are willing to pay for? So go and do some research. Okay, a couple of places we can do that. So go and do some marketplace research. Jump on the marketplace and have a look and see what the insights are. So when I talk about the marketplace, go and look at things like Udemy or LinkedIn Learning. Go and see what other courses are already out there. Go and see what the topics are, and are they targeting any specific niches? Have a look at Amazon. Go and see what the top books are in a specific area, category. Sorry about that. Yeah, go and have a look at Amazon and go and see the top sellers in that book. What are the people? Who are the people that are asking the questions? What sort of questions are they asking? It's going to really give you an insight into these people and what it is that they need. Also, then go and have a look at your competition. Okay, so maybe not necessarily people in your specific niche, but certainly people in that industry. Have a look at your competition as part of that process. So go and do some marketplace insights. Go and snoop around and have a look and see what others are doing and what people are asking, what questions they are. Okay. Also, then jump onto forums, things like Reddit, Quora. Okay, great places where people are constantly going in there and putting in questions and asking answers of things. And then obviously the big really popular one is Facebook groups. Go and join some Facebook groups related to your niche and go and see, okay, well, are people, what are they asking for? Are they sort of asking for, things and is this the niche that you want to be in? So sort of come up with, maybe a couple of different niches and go and jump into the groups and see, are they willing to pay for, are they having a problem that you can solve? Are they willing to pay for it? Is it something that they're going to need? Have a look at that, and are you going to have the passion to deliver that? So go and have a look at all of those different forums and go and do some research around that. I mean, again, Reddit and Quora are big ones for people that are typing in lots and lots of information and asking a lot of questions, and there's a lot of information being shared as part of that process. Then also go and do some keyword research. Okay, go and have a look at what is it that people are researching. What are the keywords that people are looking at? One of those Google AdWords, or I think it's now just called Google Ads. Generally it's designed for building ads, but what it will do is you can put in certain keywords and you can see, well, what's the search criteria? Is it low, medium, or high? You can also see the competition in a way. You can see, well, the frequency of results around that. Again, is it low, medium, or high? So these are some key things to have a look at as part of that process when you're looking at that. Go and do some AdWords and see what are the big keywords that are coming up, and then go, okay, well, how does that tie in? Who are the people that are asking these? Tap back into some of that and find out, what is it that your niche is asking the questions about. Okay. Another tool very similar to Google Ads is Suval. The difference with Suval is that while Google Ads is pulling data out of Google, Suval is actually pulling it out of things like Google, Wikipedia, Amazon, and a whole range of other places. So it actually is giving you a much wider sort of piece to look at those things. So again, go and do some research and go and see, okay, what is it? What are people asking for? What is it that they need? What is the problems they need solving? And going, okay, right, well, is this your niche? Is that where you want to target? Finding out that process. Okay, Wikipedia is another one. Now, you might think, hang on, Wikipedia is just full of information. But again, what you can do is you can go and do a bit of a reverse search. And I've got a blog article on our website around this that actually shows you how you can, talks about how you can actually use the information that people are searching for in Wikipedia, drop it back into something like Suval or Google AdWords and get some research, some results out of that as well. And then the other one is Answer the Public. So again, you can jump on to Answer the Public, do a search, and it will bring up a whole sort of visual model of all the different questions that people are asking around a specific topic. So again, you can see, okay, if I'm going into a specific niche, are people asking questions around this topic in this niche? So really important, have a think about what is it you're passionate about? What is it that people are gonna, you're good at, you're passionate about, people need, and people are willing to pay for? Have a think about that. Come up with, the niche or a couple of niches that you think would be great to move into. Try and break them down, really sort of filter them down even more into smaller bucket. Get in, start thinking about the demographics. Is it location based? Is it gender based? Is it profession based? Is it age based? Whole range of different things there you can think about to actually break that niche down. Then go away and start to do a bit of keyword market research as part of that process. And get into your niche. And then if you find that the niche is crowded, you don't want to be the big fish with lots of other fishes, then you can look at jump and move ponds and do the same process and move into another niche. So that's basically, the bit I want to talk about today as part of Tuesday Live. So now I just want to open it up for any questions. I've had a couple of questions there already saying better choose a niche that's related. Yep, answered that. Any other questions that people have got related to anything to do with designing, developing, deploying a learning experience? Open it up now for questions. Okay, well, we don't have too many questions today. Not a problem, okay? But if you come up with any questions afterwards, okay, this is running through StreamYard. We're dropping it into the Facebook group. Type your chat, type your comments in the Facebook group. We can jump into there as part of that process and see how that's, we can go in and answer those questions. And we'll look at coming back for our next Tuesday talk, next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. As I said, Matthew Mason, Superb Learning. Touch base with us, info@Superb Learning, or jump onto our website if you want to know more or find out more information around how we can help you to design, develop, or deploy your learning experience. Thank you.